I've wanted one of these since the day Gibson told me that they were bringing the Les Paul Supreme back, but one never came my way. So when my friends at Sam Ash Direct told me, we have the Gibson Supreme in stock, would you like us to send one? Yes. Please, Sam Ash Direct, send me the Les Paul Supreme. And can it be in Fireburst? Thanks. I'm at lunch with my wife for her birthday, and on my security camera is the FedEx guy with a Gibson box. I'm in the middle of this really nice restaurant trying to hear what he's saying, and I'm like, can you please just bring it back later? And he's like, yeah, all right, I'll drop by in a few hours. There's no way this dude's coming back. 3 hours later.
Hey man, how you doing?
Oh my God. You rule, dude. I really appreciate you.
I told you I was gonna come back.
Could have given that guy a hug. Anyone that watches this channel knows I love the Les Paul Supreme. So when they took it away, it was a serious bummer. And when they brought it back, it came back a little bit different than I remembered. But I never got a chance to actually play one. In fact, I've never played one of the new ones since they've been out, and I am late to the dance. But that dance has finally come, ladies and gentlemen. Shall we? Take a look at the 2025 Gibson Les Paul Supreme in Fireburst. It smells like new guitar. Let's take a look. You have a book-matched AAA maple top in this beautiful Fireburst finish. You got the Nashville bridge, 2 Burstbucker Pros with Alnico 5 magnets. No pickguard that would cover up this absolutely beautiful top. I love the fact that you can see the wood grain right up until the finish, and you've got this little black border. Look at how much the light changes the way that this thing moves. And then if you just catch the light the right way, you get the ups and downs. I can play tic-tac-toe on this thing. Got rid of the poker chip. I'm a huge fan of that. 22 fret with these beautiful Super 400 split block inlays. In real mother of pearl. Absolutely gorgeous. Gibson chandelier headstock. I think it's beautiful. It's my personal favorite of all the Supreme headstocks. Lock and Grover Keystone tuners. And you got this cutaway. So not the Access, but the Gibson Les Paul Modern cutaway. One of the things I wasn't super stoked about on the older Supremes, that they kind of have like a baseball bat neck. I don't mind it now because I've acclimated. I play so many guitars, but I tend to go to not super slinky, but thinner necks. And this slim taper neck is just awesome. I also love the fact that I can do this. Like, this can't be heavy. Weight wasn't ever really a thing to me until someone said, hey man, how heavy is your Les Paul? And I started realizing some of my guitars felt way better than others. And I'm like, oh yeah. This one's 13 pounds. That's why my leg hurts. When I used to think of a Supreme, I always thought of a Les Paul that was a little bit fatter, because the old Les Paul Supreme, you had the carved back and you had no back plate. So you had to stuff all the electronics in through this pickup jack cavity. And I know, as beautiful as that is, that certainly annoyed some people, because if you want to put EMGs in one of these things, good luck. If you want to get to some of the pots, it's not impossible, but certainly not as easy as just a back plate. And obviously, for manufacturing reasons, getting pieces of wood like that and putting them on the back, nevertheless having nice tops, more expensive, harder to do. So it doesn't surprise me when they brought the Les Paul Supreme back that they did it this way. The Les Paul Supreme Modern. And now what unites all the Supremes are the ebony fretboards, which this one almost looks like rosewood. The split block inlays, the chandelier inlay on the headstock, the Burstbucker Pros. It has modern features like coil tapping or reversing the phase, stuff you wouldn't find on a traditional Les Paul. You got a 12 to 16 inch compound radius, where normally you would have just a 12-inch radius. The compound radius is 12 inches down here, that normal Les Paul feel, and then as you get up here, it's a flatter radius, So when you're doing the business up here, the whittly whittlies, more shred ready. People talk about Gibson quality, you're getting an overpriced piece of junk, or Gibson's just riding their name straight to the bank. Guys, I hate to break it to you. This feels like a $4,000 guitar. There are plenty of people that are like, I'll buy a $1,299 Epiphone inspired by Gibson Custom. It has custom buckers in it, comes with a beautiful case, plays great, sounds great. I hear stories all the time about how my Epiphone sounds better than my Gibson, all of that. But I'm here to tell you that this feels better than any overseas Epiphone I've ever played. There's a difference. When I take this out of the case, everything from the nitro finish to the way it feels in my hands, yes, you could blindfold me and I could tell the difference between this and the Epiphone I played in a few other videos ago. I absolutely can. The Burstbucker Pros have Alnico 5 magnets. They're kind of the PAFs on steroids. Some people will complain that they're a little bit too trebly or cut too much. I love that. It's funny because I used to hate Gibson pickups, just like I used to hate mushrooms and Brussels sprouts. And now I love mushrooms and Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprout pizza, bring it on! Put the mushrooms on there. I'm a fun guy. It's hard to describe because the more I do this channel, the more I feel like when I listen back to things that there isn't as much of a difference as I feel. So where I say I love these pickups, I can go back and listen to the cheap Fesley guitar I got from China, and those pickups still sound pretty good to me. Pretty good, but not as good as these. But it's not as much of a difference as you would think, which leads me back to this crazy conclusion that a lot of what makes a guitar sound great, well, that's you. You could hand a totally crappy guitar to Eddie Van Halen. I mean, not now, but then. And it would sound like Eddie Van Halen, even on a crappy, unintonated Sears Silvertone. A painter doesn't blame his paints for how crappy his painting is. You have a Firefly, you bought it for $250, you got some Temu special. Man, I put some Duncans in that thing and it rules. That's because it starts with you. And tone is a journey, and it's a subjective journey. It's a journey that you will decide, hey man, you listen to that MT2 distortion box and you're like, wow, that sounds awesome. And meanwhile, my dad's trying to stab himself in the ear with an ice pick. It's a subjective thing. Just like deciding spending $4,000 on a Les Paul, if that's worth it to you. Because it's not $4,000 better than a Firefly, other than, as a Gibson guy, there's nothing that Firefly's ever gonna do. There's no hole in my heart that it's ever gonna fill that this beautiful, beautiful Lester Pulfus inspired instrument will do for me. It just won't. used to give people demos at Circuit City in another lifetime. I'd have them stand in between the TV and the huge stereo system, and I'd put on Jurassic Park, and the Tyrannosaurus Rex is coming out like, it always sees you if you move! Got the eye near the window, and it's rumbling everything. You ask people afterwards, how did that make you feel? And usually, because that movie's awesome, it terrified them because of the sound and the visual, visceral experience. Now, whether it was worth it to you to spend the $4,500 on the Polk surround system, that's a personal thing. But for me, I look at this the same way. How does it make you feel? And for me, this feels like everything. Why don't you smash that subscribe button already?